retired NYPD Sergeant Bill Cannon, a 27-year veteran of the NYPD. Now that the memorial service has been held for Charlie Kirk, and he got the send away that a head of state would deserve, reportedly, depending on which side you listen to, anywhere from 90 to 100,000, 150,000 people were there. Hard to estimate. The crowd was big. We know that many dignitaries spoke, including, of course, the President of the United States. There was a lot of love at the event, but also a lot of anger, anger in regards to how could something like this happen, and the hate and the political discord behind how an assassination of just a conservative speaker, someone who has an organization that champions conservative thought, conservative candidates, conservative politics. And for that, Charlie Kirk was murdered, much like a political assassination. But at this point, what we're really concerned with, of course, is the deep dive that the FBI is taking into this case. The deep dive, well, you may ask, someone's arrested. This person is arrested, Tyler Robinson. He basically confessed to it. But that doesn't stop an investigation. That doesn't say he confessed and now let's put all the evidence against him and let's try him in a court of law and let's forget about the rest of this investigation. We don't know at this point if Tyler Robinson acted alone. Did he act alone? Or did he have help? It seemed prior to this incident, at least one other person, his roommate, Lance Twiggs, knew all about this, and the timing of when he knew about it was before it occurred. And the little slip of paper, a note, a text message underneath on a desk, that was a picture of it was taken because perhaps he destroyed it and he showed it to the FBI. How about the Discord site where purportedly over 20 people were involved in this, having conversations about political topics? Unknown at this point because the FBI hasn't released it, whether or not they spoke about the possibility of an assassination against Charlie Kirk. We don't know that. And that is why it is so important to do this deep dive into this case. And if there were others involved, if there were other organizations that financed this, if there were people who helped plan this, we got to know that, Just as when we were looking for the shooter and it took 33 hours, which is pretty damn fast, to catch this shooter. All of us wanted to know the why, the niatwi, as they call it, when, where, who, what, how, and why. And we know that at 12:23 on September 10th, a shot rang out. And that shot hit Charlie Kirk and caused his death, And we know now that allegedly this man here, a 22-year-old by the name of Tyler Robinson, has been arrested and charged with the shooting of Charlie Kirk. A probable cause affidavit has been drawn up. And everyone wants to know why. What was this about? Why is a 22-year-old so motivated to take the life of a conservative speaker with whom he disagrees with? Why? A beloved conservative speaker. Even many people from the other side of the aisle love Charlie Kirk, So that was clear in yesterday's memorial service, which lasted over 5 hours, which sort of became almost like a rally. But we still realize that Charlie Kirk left behind a wife and 2 young children. And any good human being should not condone the assassination of someone for their speech, even if it's political speech that you highly disagree with. A civilized society cannot condone that, and I don't condone that. So, folks, hold on to your hats, hold on to your loved ones, hold on to your thoughts, hold on to your prayers. You're about to enter true crime from a police perspective. You're about to enter the off-the-cuff zone, the police off-the-cuff zone. There has to be some common sense.
They were the ones who called 911 to get him help, and now they're calling for change.
You know, in this investigation, so many people, of course, want to know. They're not satisfied with the speed of this investigation, with the evidence collected in this investigation, the statements taken in this investigation, the when, the where, the who, the what, the how, and the why. They want to know motive. What was the motive? And as many times as we try to come across with a motive, there are many people that question what the motive is. And we will hopefully, when this investigation is concluded, after many, many, many months, we'll know the motive.
Assassinating conservative activist Charlie Kirk, now charged with 7 counts, including aggravated murder, as prosecutors now pursue the death penalty.
State of Utah versus Tyler James Robinson. Could you state your name?
Tyler James Robinson.
22-year-old Tyler Robinson appearing in court for the first time Tuesday after Utah County Attorney Jeff Gray outlined his case against the suspect, linking him to that single fatal shot of the 31-year-old husband and father of 2.
Counting or not counting gang violence? Great.
Prosecutors say the suspect's DNA was found on the rifle's trigger and laid out the evidence they say tied him to the crime, sharing these photos that reached millions of people, including the suspect's mother.
Robinson's mother saw the photo of the shooter in the news and thought the shooter looked like her son.
Prosecutors say the suspect's father then got Robinson on the phone.
Robinson implied that he was the shooter and stated that he couldn't go to jail and just wanted to end it. When asked why he did it, Robinson explained there is too much evil and the guy, referring to Charlie Kirk, spreads too much hate.
Authorities say his parents detailed a shift in their son.
Robinson's mother explained that over the last year or so, Robinson had become more political and had started to lean more to the left, becoming more pro-gay and trans rights oriented. She stated that Robinson began to date his roommate, a biological male who was transitioning genders.
The prosecutor says the roommate then handed over incriminating messages from the suspect.
The roommate received a text message from Robinson which said, "Drop what you're doing, look under my keyboard." The roommate looked under the keyboard and found a note that stated, quote, "I had the opportunity to take out Charlie Kirk, and I'm going to take it."
According to authorities, he then explained.
So right there, that's pretty powerful evidence, right? Clearly, it was before the shooting that he told his roommate that he has the opportunity to take out Charlie Kirk, and he's going to do it. Does that mean complicity? Does that mean that the roommate perhaps was involved and just is telling us the smoothed out version that will not include him in this potential conspiracy? These are just thoughts. These are things that the FBI must look into. How was the roommate involved? That's the things that they're going to do in this deep dive of the investigation. You'll go back to ABC News.
His motive for allegedly murdering Kirk.
Robinson, "I had enough of his hatred. Some hate can't be negotiated out."
The suspect also allegedly telling his roommate he'd been planning the attack for a little over a week. And now investigators trying to determine whether he acted alone or if the people he was allegedly communicating with on the messaging app Discord knew what he planned to do.
Now, do you believe that the suspect was a lone wolf, or could this be part of a
I
group?
can't comment on that. I'm not aware of all their investigation. I just know that these agencies are continuing to investigate this case and follow all leads.
Now, that vest the suspect was wearing is called a suicide prevention smock. Unsurprisingly, he was denied bail and his next court appearance was set for September 29th. But first, the judge says he has to be provided with a public defender qualified for a death penalty case.
So, some little bit of incriminating evidence there, right? And again, you see how the media wants immediate answers, but you know something, in an investigation, the only way to get accurate information is to wait and to do an accurate investigation, to dive deeply, compare the evidence to interviews. Some of the things that the FBI will be looking into, of course, the firearm, the Mossberg 30-06. There's already a lot of people talking on the internet, on YouTube, content creators. Oh, that gun couldn't have done this. There must have been a second shooter. Come on, stop it. There was one shot. We heard one shot. The ballistics will match the firearm that it was fired from. The gun was recovered. Tyler Robinson's DNA was found on the trigger, right? Other DNA belonging to Tyler Robinson was found on the rifle, on the towel that the rifle was wrapped in, all right? Other DNA was found on the rooftop, all coming back to Tyler Robinson. The one shooter theory. It's not a theory. It's the evidence bears that out, all right? And then matching the ballistics to what they recover. Apparently, they did recover the bullet inside Charlie's neck, according to the pathologist. That can be compared. You know, there was other thoughts on the internet. Oh, this is an untraceable gun. I don't know the people that are saying this, what their credentials are for saying that. But obviously, a deep dive is necessary into this, a deep dive investigation. And that's exactly what the FBI is going to do. They're going to do a deep dive. And some of the things they're going to be looking at, of course, the spent shells. In this case, the shells inside the rifle. And the shell that was in the rifle that was fired all had writing on the side of it. That also can be compared to the statement that Tyler Robinson made to the police as to what, and the text message to his roommate as to what it said on the side of the shells. You can't make that stuff up. If he knows it and they collect evidence that in fact bears that out, that's pretty damn powerful, folks. And the FBI is not going to stop digging into this case. They're going to dig further and further and further. Folks, this is Police Off the Cuff, real crime stories. If you like real crime, true crime from a police perspective, you're in the right place. And all we ask is you like, subscribe, share, and make lots of comments. And in addition, we have a new sponsor on the Police Off the Cuff podcast. FanDuel is the new sponsor for the Police Off the Cuff podcast. FanDuel. Football season's finally here. Have you checked out the latest odds, futures, and win totals on FanDuel Sportsbook? Think the Bills are headed to the Super Bowl? You can lock in your bets today, whatever your game. FanDuel Sportsbook delivers the latest lines, futures, and specials so you can join in on all of the action. I'm eyeing college football. Who's your pick for the Heisman? Plus, I'm loading up on parlays and player props like Saquon Barkley breaking his own single-season rushing record. With the Major League Baseball postseason right around the corner, FanDuel has you covered with player specials and unique props. Whatever your game, FanDuel Sportsbook delivers the latest lines, futures, and specials so you can join in on the action. FanDuel, the new sponsor of the Police Off the Cuff podcast. We're thrilled to have them. FanDuel is sponsoring us on the Believe Network. This is from Fox News in regards to Chairman Patel doing a deep dive into this investigation.
Kirk, he wrote this on X in part. We are meticulously investigating theories and questions, including the location from where the shot was taken, the possibility of accomplices, the text message confession, and related conversations, Discord chats, the angle of the shot and bullet impact, how the weapon was transported, hand gestures observed as potential signals near Charlie at the time of his assassination, and visitors to the alleged shooter's residence in the hours and days leading up to September 10, 2025. Trey Gowdy's here. Trey, there's a lot in there. I mean, a lot.
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, he's
right down to the people who rang or knocked the door. Go ahead.
Well, he's trying to do three things, at least three things here. Number one, death is different, Bill. I mean, you have to be meticulous, if not perfect, in a capital case. So every conceivable question that a jury may have, Cash and the prosecutors are now trying to answer. I mean, everything in a death penalty case is different. The standard of proof may be the same, but in reality, if you're going to put someone to death, the case needs to be perfect. The second thing he's trying to do is, even I think I'm a rational person. I struggle with whether or not anyone knew that he was planning on doing this before he did it. So Cash is also investigating people who may have aided and abetted or accomplices. And the third thing he's trying to do, which I don't think he's going to be able to, is tap down the conspiracies that are out there. Almost every major assassination we've had in our history, Bill, there's still someone out there who thinks some conspiracy. I mean, heck, there are people who think the earth is flat. So he's going to have a hard time convincing everyone that this investigation was fulsome, but that's what he's trying to do.
Okay, so here's Pam Bondi, the AG, from over the weekend with Laura Trump.
So our U.S. attorney in Utah is working hand in hand with the district attorney out there. The district attorney has indicted for first-degree murder and other charges. They are seeking the death penalty, and the firing squad is still on the table in the state of Utah, among other things. So it's indicted in the state, and we're working hand in hand to decide when and if we will indict federally as well. What we will all be sure of is this guy never sees the light of day.
So go ahead and comment on that if that's your choice here, Trey. But all this stuff like looking at Discord chats and who knows where that goes, or even how long it takes to go through it. Go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, what Pam's point is, this is a state murder investigation. It is a Utah murder investigation. The FBI is assisting, like they do in lots of other jurisdictions, but ultimately it'll be a Utah state prosecutor standing in front of a Utah jury. What she means, look, there are examples like Dylan Roof where the feds did take over the case, and they're the ones that put him on death row. But the jurisdiction for murder almost always lies in state court, which is why the FBI and the U.S. attorney are helping, but they're not the lead agencies.
Yeah, you're right about the theories. Regardless of how this turns out, there will still be many that live for a long time. Trey, thanks. Nice to see you.
So, you know something? I don't, I mean, Trey Gowdy, brilliant prosecutor, brilliant orator. But in this case, every door must be shut, slammed shut, or else the public and many others will believe that this was a conspiracy. So we have to investigate this and find out what was the nature of this 20-person Discord. What was the nature of his text messages? All of his digital information, his cell phone, right? His text messages, his home computer. All of these things, his interactions with other people, his conversations with other people. There's several other organizations, clandestine organizations that he may have been involved with. The rumors that numerous people had visited his home in the days and weeks before this assassination. All of those things must be looked into. The history of the rifle, the Mauser 30-06. Was that, in fact, his grandfather's rifle that was passed down to him as a gift? Easy to find out. Do a gun trace through the ATF, the alcohol, tobacco, and firearms. All of these are just investigation 101. Little checklist things on this investigation. Results of interviews. How many hundreds, perhaps thousands of people are going to get interviewed in regards to this case? You know who I would love to interview and hear from is Charlie Kirk's 8-man security crew. And was that security crew, in fact, the only 8 people protecting Charlie Kirk at this event on September 10th, 2025? Because if it was, it's horrendously inadequate security. What did the campus, the Utah Valley University, what was their involvement in this security? What was the local police? Were they involved? Because if there was only 8 security guards in an event that had at least 3,000 people at it, inadequate. And why? I ask why. Charlie Kirk was a high-profile figure, a figure that got lots and lots of death threats. Why was the security so lax? Why was the security inadequate for an event this size? These are some of the questions I have, and these are some of the questions that the FBI, of course, can do a deep dive into and get us answers to. And the thing is that this is going to take so many months that by the time they get answers to all these things, the public's going to have lost interest. So it's almost like the public wants to know immediately. This is News Nation.
Well, as tens of thousands mourned the life of conservative activist Charlie Kirk, we are learning more about the investigation into his suspected killer. Tyler Robinson is facing murder charges. In addition to several others, he could face the death penalty if convicted. FBI Director Kash Patel saying the investigation will be thorough and exhaustive and that his agency will pursue every lead to its conclusion. News Nation's Alex Capriello is live in the newsroom. Alex, with more. What else is Patel targeting here?
Well, the FBI is following up on all leads at this point. Some that are going to be routine when it comes to criminal investigations, but also pouring through some of those tips and suggestions from far-fetched conspiracy theories circling on the internet since Charlie Kirk's death. FBI Director Kash Patel says it's all in the name of transparency for the public. The agency director has been on the hot seat for weeks now. Earlier this month, he was grilled by Congress over his handling of the Epstein files and how he runs the top law enforcement agency in the country. But more recently, his credibility has been questioned over the apparent mishandling of this Charlie Kirk shooting investigation, especially when he incorrectly posted that a suspect was in custody when in reality, the accused shooter was still on the run. So in a statement posted to coincide with Charlie Kirk's memorial service, Patel writes, quote, "We are meticulously investigating theories and questions, including the location from where the shot was taken, the possibility of accomplices, the text message confession and related conversations, Discord chats, the angle of the shot and bullet impact, how the weapon was transported, hand gestures observed as potential signals near Charlie at the time of his assassination, and visitors to the alleged shooter's residence in the hours and days leading up to September 10, 2025. Investigators have been able to uncover and share a wealth of evidence that directly implicates 22-year-old Tyler Robinson, and even more details are expected to come out at Robinson's preliminary hearing next Monday. Patel says some of these details, they're going to remain secret to protect the investigation, but he also noted some theories have already been debunked. Eagle-eyed internet sleuths have questioned why a departing aircraft close to the university turned off its tracker right after Kirk was killed. Patel says both the pilot and the FAA have been interviewed about this exact moment, and then he attributes the lost signal to the rural nature of those Utah mountains.
Saying, Alex, the rooftop from where the sniper is said to have shot Kirk also under close scrutiny. Why is that?
Right. So, Nicole, this also speaks to some of that chatter buzzing online. Rampant speculation and rumors there. Some social media users are questioning the trajectory of the bullet and the possibility that another shooter might be involved. So what you're seeing right there on the right side of your screen is video that I actually shot personally from my phone last week while at Utah Valley University. So I was standing in the approximate location where Charlie Kirk was sitting at the time he was shot. So as that video zooms in, you're going to see that estimated 200 yards of distance between Kirk was sitting and the rooftop where police say Robinson fired his rifle. Investigators say there were tracks left behind right there on that roof from a shooter lying in a prone position. When I looked at the university's layout with my own eyes, and you can kind of see it here in this video, you could see just how many tiers of rooftops exist surrounding that student courtyard. So the FBI is going to be thoroughly dissecting the school's architecture blueprint to make sure that they have a case that is fully buttoned up. And then at the very same time, I had a chance to talk to the university president about this. She tells me there are no plans to stop hosting political events at the campus, even in the wake of this assassination.
So I have some questions there, though. I mean, internet sleuths questioning whether there was a second shooter or not. Wouldn't a second shot have rung out? Wouldn't you have heard it? Did anyone hear a second shot? I think not. Does that mean that the FBI doesn't have to slam the door on that? No, they do a thorough investigation. I want to know, in the reconnaissance by Tyler Robinson, how many times did he visit the Utah Valley University campus in order to familiarize himself with the rooftop and how he was going to get there and how he was going to escape? Did he have help? You saw there that they said there was potentially someone in the crowd giving hand signals. I don't know whether that's true or not, but all of these things must be looked into. All of the tips, they probably got thousands of tips in regards to this case. So this investigation, again, we need the FBI to do a deep dive. We need the FBI to be transparent with information that they can be transparent with. Investigative information that they may release without compromising the investigation. We expect nothing less than that from the FBI. And you heard Trey Gowdy say that this case does not belong to the FBI. It belongs to the Utah state. It's a state prosecution. The FBI is just going to assist with all of their toys, all of their weapons, all of their money. The FBI is a great partner for local police to have during this case. So folks, again, Police Off the Cuff, please like, subscribe, share, and make lots of comments. I'm Bill Cannon from Police Off the Cuff Real Crime Stories. Don't forget, we are sponsored by FanDuel on the Believe Network. Folks, thank you so much for tuning in today. Have a great day, everyone, and we'll see you the next time. God bless.
One episode just ain't enough.